AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built into. That's why it's no surprise that more than 85% of the Fortune 500 use the ServiceNow AI platform. While other platforms duct tape tools together, ServiceNow seamlessly unifies people, data, workflows, and AI, connecting every corner of your business. And with AI agents working together autonomously, anyone in any department can focus on the work that matters most. Learn how ServiceNow puts AI to work for people at ServiceNow.com. Hey everyone, welcome to Served, brought to you by ServiceNow. As always, we'd appreciate it so much if you just subscribe. We will be shameless, but hopefully we're providing some information and some entertainment as well. JW in the house.
What's up, JW?
How's it going? Where
Still jet lagged.
Where are you? Yeah. You're always. I feel like you're. It'd be like more surprising if you were like had like a base level of sleep.
I need tips, Doug Spreen, if you're out there. Anyone? God, coming back over the Pacific is rough, and I'm still dragging here. Good to see you guys.
I always like that one when I'm watching like sports shows. And they're like, I don't know, man. Philadelphia, they got that West Coast game today. And I'm like,
yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you try Memphis on a Friday and Dubai on a Monday. Get out of here.
Yeah, they've been out there for like 3 days. They're like, hopefully
it's
they
like,
can wake
man,
up.
they're gosh, they got to stay out there for 9 days. I'm like, 9 whole days away? Really? I know we don't, and I say the commentary, I know we don't get hit in the head. I got it. I understand. And it's not that far to go to like Arizona. It's not that bad. I think the takeaway, FAA wins in Montpellier because FAA wins every indoor tournament. Okay, let's see how you do here, JW. You ready? FAA has 9 career titles. He just moved past Milos Raonic for the most titles won by a Canadian male. How many of those titles are indoors?
Ooh. Sean, what do you think?
He knows the answer. Commit to what you just said.
8.
8 is the correct answer.
That's crazy.
8.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question, as long as you brought this up.
Sure.
Let's veer a little bit. Winter Olympics are going on, right? Which means sports that are played on snow or ice. But there's talk sometimes, especially with this kind of imbalance in sports and ratings, of like, maybe we need to broaden what's a winter sport. Why is table tennis summer? If this were back on the docket and tennis could be a winter sport, it would obviously be indoors to the great benefit of Felix. If you could find a facility and tennis could get to be a winter Olympic sport, pro or con? What do you think? You don't want that?
No, because you play
like not indoors.
Okay, I'm going to define this. I'm going to make it simpler than it probably is. There's probably more nuance to this. If you wear shorts, it's not a winter sport.
Okay. If you wear shorts, it's not a winter sport.
It's not a winter sport.
That's good.
If I can see your kneecaps, it belongs in the summer games.
John and I didn't talk about this beforehand. We actually had a clip queued up for you to see a winter version of tennis posted by what's the guy's name?
Oh man,
Rob Rawling.
You know what?
14. Sean, cue it up and let's play it for these guys and let's see if this is a version of tennis I would probably watch in a winter Olympic sport.
See, that's way cooler than all the other.
These dudes are on ice.
Dude, this is
skating around, playing tennis.
This is way cooler than all of the other made-up games that people think we should take seriously.
Yeah, here's the other one. This is indoors. They are on a hockey rink.
That's cool. I mean, these guys obviously like
they like dunk basketballs and stuff.
Well, they hit well. Like they don't look dumb hitting, and they obviously skate really. That's cool. What would you do? Here, I got. Here's my proposal, and we've sidetracked so far already.
Thank you for setting that up, John.
Here,
thanks.
You know what I would watch in the Winter Olympics? A subset of hockey where all the teams did was run the flying V from Mighty Ducks over and over and over.
I think that the mixed doubles in ice hockey tennis would be it'd be rough.
We started going through results, and then this happened.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
Raducanu loses in the final to Cristea. Cristea's last year on tour. Cool that she won her an event at home. I think the biggest story of this week, obviously, we're kind of slow post Australia, going into Dallas, kind of everyone trying to tack points on the board before Indian Wells, Miami. People coming back and being healthy, big names, and people that can disrupt the sport, like are good enough to actually make a semi, a final, maybe, name on this. One's won a gold medal and one's won a Masters series. Draper, Qinwen, and Fees back. Draper has already played. He played Davis Cup, won a match in Oslo. Qinwen is coming back in Doha.
She did play. She beat Sophia Kenin.
Oh, she did?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Time differences.
6-1 and 2 in Qatar Open.
That's not easy. Like, to come back and win after you've been off for that long, that's pretty good effort by both of them. And Fees coming back in Rotterdam. Maybe he will have played by the time this gets released tomorrow. But those are big names and names that you want to see healthy. They're all exciting. They all add something. They're storylines. They come from massive markets, all of which are important to tennis. And you said Draper hadn't played a match since August. I mean, he kind of played. He played one match, but then he was out. He kind of tried to play Wimbledon, and he hasn't been fully healthy since it feels like almost Madrid last year. Maybe the first week of the French Open. His ranking is going to drop because he front-loaded a bunch of points. Obviously, I don't think he's going to get back to what he was March, April, May last year. So there's going to be like a 20-something next to his name at some point, but like he's still one of the guys that can build and, not saying challenge the big two, but like disrupt the tennis earth, and maybe one of the people that can sneak something out in some way, shape, or form. So it's just good to see people back and healthy.
It seems to me that the good news here is these are young players. We talked about this with Holger as well. Maybe they'll get these years back on the back end of their career. What's problematic is these are young players. And when you're 21, 22, 23 years old, I mean, remember, Draper a year ago beats Carlos and wins Indian Wells. This was the hottest act in tennis. Pretty early to have an injury that takes you out for 6 months, but good to see them all back. I mean, with Holger, with Fonseca, we've had a lot of injuries. Carlos and Jannik Sinner are tremendous, but the under 25 crowd has been hit pretty hard with injuries lately.
Let's just disconnect right here, like draw a line. This conversation isn't about Draper, Fees, Qinwen. This isn't but you see a lot of players that are like, oh, I've just been hurt. I've been so unlucky. And I look at it and I'd say a lot of the time I look and be like, oh, you have a reputation for not putting in the physical work away from the court. So you're not unlucky sometimes. Sometimes it's just massively unlucky. But like there are levels to it. The better you want to be, the fitter you have to be. It takes more time, even away from the court. You can't skip massages. You can't skip stretching. You can't skip icing after every single practice. Like we used to go from practice and I'd go sit in the training room with the ice for 45 minutes. Every day, every practice, every single time. Then you go back into the city and you have a full program that might run 2 hours and you don't skip days, right? And then that's after you've set the table for training for 6 weeks. I would do December and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to maintain through March, through Indian Wells, Miami. And then I have to reset and go through, kind of make yourself into like body armor, right? And so there are levels to it. But like I played a deal with Isner the other day and he's in there stretching for a half hour beforehand. Like he was able, it's not an accident that him having that massive body, he still was able to play as long as he was. He was very smart about the way he trained. He's like, I'm not going to be out there running 300s and 400s. Like my body I don't need that. It doesn't do that. If I'm playing long rallies, that's my fault. But he was so diligent. I mean, every practice stretching for however long and avoided like these massive big body injuries. When people avoid stuff, when Novak avoids injury for as long as he has, and it is that good, that's not an accident. Like that is not an accident.
Did you say you were with John? And I saw a video of a guy in his 40s serving bombs. AI is doing its thing. Were you in Dallas?
I'll tell you. I was in Dallas. We played at the tour event there. It's a pretty cool event. Like that. It's like this huge dome.
It's at
and
the Cowboys practice facility.
Yeah, but they
right?
built the stadium and then they have the practice court. It's all under one dome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a winter sport, John. It was pretty crazy. So the biggest takeaway is Mac's a joke. Mm-hmm. Mac is like the fact it's 66 years old. And it's just no one's been better as long as no one's been.
And you played against Mac?
Yeah, no one's been good at tennis as long as him.
It's absurd.
And he hits this little, and the court was a little slimy and a little fast, and he's hitting these like 115 to the corners, and it's just like the three of us. Like I played with Sam, who doesn't quite volley as well as John McEnroe.
Sam Querrey.
Yeah, so we're obviously just hacking volleys everywhere, and Mac's just great. Isner knows how to hit a return now, which is like I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Isner was the dominant force, like outside of the serve.
I just saw them entering the court, and he had to duck underneath the video board door that opened, and then you just cleared it with such ease.
They're
giants.
They're so tall. Like Sam is huge, and John is 4 inches taller than Sam. They're so big.
Yeah.
I feel like I walk into like a tennis event now and I feel tiny. Just a little wisp of a thing.
And Blair was there too. Blair did the post-match.
Saw Blair.
Yeah, we saw some comments from the post-match on the internet. On the internet.
I think I know it.
I think yeah. We saw Andy was taking a little bit of a dig at our friends from the Nothing Major podcast.
I mean, what are we not having?
We have it.
I'm sorry. Are we the fun police? Fuck me.
Wait, Sean, go ahead and play this clip.
I also would like to congratulate Sam and John. I think your podcast is super cute. It's like I just want to take it and I want to put it in my pocket. And I know you guys are trying your little hearts out, so I think it's just fantastic.
Can you please do? We posted it with no context because, of course, we would.
Yeah.
But please give us the context.
There is context.
You weren't roasting them first.
I didn't start the fight, just so we're clear. Like, I hopefully ended the fight, but I did not start the fight. It wasn't gratuitous.
Yeah.
Not saying I wouldn't have gone there because, like, everyone's like, "Ooh, you said that about nothing." Like, we're friends. We've been friends for like I genuinely love hanging out with Sam and John. Like, they're great. I like what they do. Their show's different than ours. Ours is different than theirs. Whatever.
They were saying they're the number one tennis podcast.
They
and
asked
nice.
like, well, Sam's about to answer a question, and John knows that like I know that they represented. Like, he's told people they're the number one. And I'm like, okay, listen. You don't get your own math. Like, come on, like, get out of here. Like, this isn't about
they're
feelings.
just poking the bear. You know they're just.
And he bit.
They're watching this as a social experiment.
And I bit, but the verbal bear won't lie down. So anyway, so then Sam goes, "Yeah, it's great. We have great now, the number one podcast." And him and like he says it, and I just see John get this shit-eating grin and look at me like I just like dig. So yeah,
that's cool. What a cool event.
The comment without context seems like I got aggressive, which I did, but I was playing defense.
Yes,
everyone. I'm just just a sensitive soul that played defense.
Yes,
tall bully.
Just a sensitive soul.
Just a sensitive little guy.
You know, as a good soul. You know, as a good soul. Chris Eubanks.
Eubanks is the best. We
buried the lead.
You guys ready for some nerdy stuff? So, Eubanks was here, and we just basically did 2 days worth of nerd outs, right? And so we have a bunch of shows, different types of shows that we have them.
They're called evergreen.
They're called evergreen. So we could be talking about any number of subjects in December that we haven't released yet.
Yeah.
And so we have Eubanks, and we're basically, Eubanks and I always get in these arguments, like not arguments, but we get in these discussions, and I feel like we call each other because we know the person's like been super nerd. So we have the top forehands of all time, and that's what we're going to do. And we ended up doing it for like an hour.
Yes.
It was great.
And you're going to get it after the break.
Yeah. AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents. Hey everyone, welcome back to Served. Time to get nerdy. Chris Eubanks, and I'm not saying you're a nerd. I'm just saying we're going to get nerdy.
No, we're going to get really nerdy. I hope Mike can keep up. I'm excited.
He's like dressed like a school kid right now. He's ready to
I know. Like, I do second career now.
Yeah,
I got to start throwing on actual clothes, no sweatpants anymore.
That's it. I know. Like, you don't even have to dress for the
Maybe
job
on
now.
the wide, you can see Andy agrees.
So true story. I walk in. I hit some balls this morning. I walk in, and Mike goes, like unsolicited, like just volunteered it. He goes, "Yeah, I mean, there's a bathroom over there if you want to change." I'm like, but like I haven't worn this every single time we've done any episode.
All of a sudden
ever.
Now, Mike, does he usually wear the button? Oh, no, Mike usually dresses. He usually dresses. So it's not like he tried to, spruce it up a little bit.
I mean, I have to make an effort.
You guys. All right, so what we're going to do, everyone loves a list.
Yes.
And Banks and I get into these conversations randomly when we're just either on text or talking in person where it's like, best forehands, why? All these just things that it's like, we might as well just have one of those conversations, but with a camera on is kind of where we're at. So I think what we're going to do is this episode, Banks, I'm going to challenge you. I want your best forehands, and I'm going to give you my best forehands and explain kind of the criteria of timing and all that.
We were talking about, because I think it's interesting the fact that you guys played in different eras, technically, right? Like you were ACC Player of the Year in 2017. He was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017. So you guys have spanned different eras. But I think that is a good guideline for your guys' own list, is like who have you played, but also who kind of spans each other's eras, because I think your guys' tennis knowledge also, you can talk about both your eras. But for me, when I talk to you guys about this and other people, I want to understand a little bit more about like the technology gap before we get into that.
Yeah, that all play that we'll get into all that. So is my cutoff? Let's just like, I retired in 2012. Is that kind of my cutoff?
Ish, yeah.
So I have the guys that I played, and obviously some of those will leak into, some of them played through 2020 or still. I mean, I played Novak 9 times and he's still going. So I'm sure there'll be some crossover, but he's not going to take, Lendl, and I'm not going to take Sinner. Right? Yeah. Is that the easiest way to explain it?
I think so, right?
And let's get into it, and we're not ranking him, we're just coming up with our...
No, it's not a rank. It's just your guys kind of
like 5-ish.
Yep, no particular order.
And some honorable
just conversation.
Mentions.
Yeah, exactly.
Now how do we want to do it? 1 for 1? Like I say one, he says one, or do you want me to lift my skirt up and then he does the same thing?
I think let's go 1 for 1 and see where it goes. I mean, what do you think? What do you want to do?
I mean, I'm open to either one. I really want to get into the technology portion, but I want to talk about the era even before you.
Yeah.
Like that's one that I think the older generations, a lot of times they get forgotten about, or they get kind of just dismissed. But there's some names, I think, in that 80s, 90s that need a bit of recognition, and I think people need to have the proper perspective.
I included those. If I have up till 2012, I was not going to leave out a lot of those guys.
Okay, all right. I'm excited about that one.
Well, let's start there, though, because one of the guys who was like the first absolute Grim Reaper thumper forehand was Lendl.
Yeah.
Like, that was the era where Mac was coming in, Connors was hitting flat, but wasn't like just going rip city on every ball, right? It was more of like a ball flight type thing. And Lendl comes in. He was the first guy people were coming in, and he was just
tattooing him right in the chest,
barreling the ball
with
in their chest.
No apology, just straight shoulder, just turn around and start the next point. And I always felt like Lendl's forehand was a bit of the precursor for Pete's forehand to segue into a similar technique, high elbow on the backswing, racket head went up, and could just absolutely rope it if you allowed them to extend. You couldn't, not as much in here, like Pete in the inside-out forehand felt like he kind of would just elevate, but he would dare you to go into that do side. It's like, try it. And the moment you would, he could go over there, and because his backswing was so high, he could generate so much pace. So if I agreed Lendl, but I feel like Pete has to be in there because they're Pete was kind of like the version 2.0 of Lendl. He didn't try to tattoo guys in the chest as much.
Yeah.
But he had a rocket of a forehand, especially on the run.
I feel like Lendl was the guy, and no disrespect to anyone in early, because also he's one of the guys who was actually using a metal racket where you could actually create that sort of thing, right?
Yep.
Whereas like you go to like a Velos and he's not able to create the speed just because of technology. So Lendl was the first guy, at least that I saw, where guys were coming in and they actually had to protect themselves against passing shots.
100%.
Just barrel
100%
the ball. Obviously Pete was, is he just baited you. He's like, I'd actually like to be striding into this as I take your head off.
Yeah.
And he would kind of protect. The other one that is like a no-brainer and completely changed the game in my mind with how you set up and what kind of real estate.
Let's see if you're going to say it. Jimmy Arias?
No.
Wow.
No. Arias is, I love Jimmy Arias. I also think tennis would look largely the same had he not played. Right?
It's a fair point. It's just like the only reason I threw Jimmy in there.
You're gonna be mad at me for a second until I tell you my person. Then you're gonna be like, okay, that's a different thing.
Okay, fair. The only reason I like to give Jimmy some type of credit is because every older coach that I had always highlights Jimmy. I didn't see it up close. They just said he was ahead of his time.
Rip City.
He ripped the four. So I think, okay, Jimmy Arias must have had a nuke of a forehand. Yeah. Everyone unanimously of the older generation always gives him credit.
Well, Arias also, like, if you look at the way that he hit his forehand, and then you're going, oh my God, if you give this guy a tube of a racket and you put Lux in there,
Yeah, true.
he would have been, his forehand was too early for his technology.
Yeah, fair.
And he still went Rip City.
Fair.
Now, I'm talking a little bit about this person got to number 1 in the world, won 4 slams.
Oh, I know who it is. Go ahead.
And he would scoot left, and he basically took what Lendl did and then said, like, the inside out control the entire dynamic.
So much spin, too.
is Jim Courier.
So much spin. Captain Courier.
And he took it, like,
inside of the ball, like he was able to just dominate that ad side of the court by just roping it just heavy.
I would play him in like the senior tour events, like where good tennis goes to die. But like topspin, yes, but he could take that thing flat as a pancake. It would almost like sail into the corner. It would land up like a foot from the baseline and then just kind of eat up the court.
Yeah.
And he was the first one who was like hitting that flat one as he was still falling
to the left.
Right.
He could fade to the left.
Yeah. And he completely won 2 French Opens. You know, he was the first one to kind of mitigate that, you know, kind of high vamos spin and then just flatten it out and take him out on clay.
Yeah.
Like he changed the real estate and how you kind of had to manage it, I think, earlier than anyone.
And he was doing it with an 85 pro staff.
Well,
again, technology plays a part. But I'm like, I feel like Jim, you put him on a clay court with a Bab, taking the high balls like that. Even I felt like he final Wemby, like that side spin that you're talking about, the ball just shooting through on a grass court.
You know when you're good is Jim always when I'm with him is like, oh man, I sucked on grass.
The guys now are he's so humble.
He's like, I sucked on grass. I'm like,
you final Wimbledon.
I go, your career best result at Wimbledon was the same as mine. And I was good on grass. Like, don't take that away from me. If you're saying you did, then I suck too. Like, we can't do that. But yeah, he made the finals on grass. He doesn't even like grass.
Have you hit with him with new technology? Does his ball still jump the same?
He's 20 years older, but like it's his forehand. He just, on top of being able to like rip city, right? Taking what Lendl did, his ability to just scoot his big ass into that left corner and then just kind of hold you there. And once he gets a hold of the rally, similar like when Rafa got a hold of a forehand, you weren't getting out of the pattern. He was kind of the guy to do that. Like Andre can hit the inside out forehand, but he also wasn't trying to hide a backhand like Jim was. I mean, we talk about it all the time because we had this kind of a similar thing where I don't think we would say we were as talented as the guys we were trying to beat. He wasn't as talented as Pete. He wasn't as talented as Andre. He would tell you this isn't news. And we were both trying to hide a weakness with a forehand, right? And he just accepted it, did it, and said, this is where I'm going to make hay. Bomb first serve.
Yeah.
Not enough credit for his first serve and a nasty kick.
Now I was going to say that ad side, play that kick wide, start off with forehand,
and
inside
you can't
out.
Get around. I mean,
inside in.
But like Lendl, Courier, Pete, Lendl especially, like if you look at his racket.
It's small hit
It
size.
looks like a disgusting thing to try to hit a forehand with.
Yeah.
It looks horrible.
It's like a frying pan. It's like the size of like your skillet in your kitchen, and just put that in a tennis racket and go out and play 5 sets.
I couldn't do that.
I would rather get kicked in the nuts than try to hit a forehand with Lendl's forehand. Right? Like it's not the one. So I'm glad you said go back a little earlier. Other one in there is Agassi. Like
okay, so I have this is a good conversation. I was going through some players in the list. Kind of last night preparing for this. And when I'm thinking about players in their forehands, I felt like, correct me if I'm wrong, Andre you didn't think forehand wasn't the first thing you thought when you thought of Andre. You knew he could hurt you on both wings. I feel like you thought of the backhand, but did you think of forehand when you thought of playing Andre?
Because I played him. And here's the difference. We're giving Arias a lot of credit for his forehand, right? Because it was a lot better than the rest of his game.
The rest of his game, you can't knock Andre for having a great backhand as well as a great forehand.
Like you can't but also like this is an interesting conversation because how much do we value the ability to return off that side? He would pick you clean off. There were like 4 guys on earth when I first started and could throw 140 at him who could hit over. This is like before Luxilon and could take full swings. It was like Hewitt could do it, Safin could do it, Andre could do it. But Andre, if he picked your serve right, would hit clean winners off of like the forehand side. That has to be a factor. Like I know you're probably gonna say like Gasquet or like someone else when we get to backhands, but like if you serve massive to that side, they were floating a chip. It wasn't as if they were firming it up.
Yeah.
Like where Roger, like he would firm up a chip, and I think that factors in. Andre's ability, he didn't need time on his forehand.
Yeah, because he was also so close to the baseline.
You could, like my backhand wasn't good, but like I could firm one up middle and he could be on the baseline, have a backswing that was 6 inches long and pull it hard. Like he didn't need time. And that's a skill set. It's not when both feet are under you and everything is perfect and go and rip city. His ability to hit it both ways, control the middle of the court, steer it. I mean, we can't punish someone's forehand because their backhand is so like good. Arguably one of the best 2 or 3 of all time.
Can you explain a little bit more about that positioning, being so close to the baseline and then having that short swing?
Yeah, we have a conversation about Zverev a lot, and it's court positioning. People used to, the commentators would get on and be like, Andy should play up on the baseline all the time. I need time on both wings. Like just technically, I had a big backswing, so by virtue of that, if someone goes hot through there and I'm on the baseline, I struggled. Yeah. Right? I couldn't turn it real quick.
Couldn't get it like
No, now if I had time and I could set up, then I could give it a ride. Andre needed no time to turn or be aggressive. So he would hit a serve, you would stick a return, and if he had a forehand, he could firm it up. He could be a foot inside the court. And if you didn't hit it on his shoe tops, he was injecting pace into the next ball and didn't need time to turn on it. Right? That matters. Like a complete forehand, not a perfect scenario forehand, which I feel like a lot of people get carried away with some names. And they say, well, this guy hit it harder than anyone. I'm like, yeah, everyone can hit it.
It's not a speed.
Varying
level,
degrees
right?
of hard.
Right.
If it's not a fed ball drill where you're feeding out of a basket and people are just, it's not a driving range.
Yeah, it's like a second baseman in batting cages.
So
right? They can
100% Andre is on my list for forehand. I hear what you're saying, but there's no chance I'm going to punish him because his backhand was as good as his forehand. He needed no time. He could inject pace. His pocket was from a foot above his shoulder to his shoe tops. Like you couldn't find. It's not as if like you got it up on this side and you were safe.
And you were There's some guys like that.
There was no place safe. I could hit a nasty slice serve on the deuce side. And if he picked, now he guessed a lot.
Yeah,
on returns.
He did. You can go back and watch some of those old videos, and you see but there comes that 1 or 2 service game.
He's the equivalent.
He gets on it, second serve, first point of a game. Now you feel tight, love 15.
If he read it and missed a return, you felt relief.
Yeah,
like you couldn't beat him with pace if he actually picked the right spot. Now he would guess because his wingspan wasn't like a Novak or a Murray, right? So he wasn't going to like swallow up all the real estate. But if he picked it right. It's like a hitter looking for a pitch, and if they get that pitch, you didn't miss it. But there's no chance that his forehand isn't one of the most complete forehands.
Yeah,
in history.
It's fair. So I watched later career Andre. I've gone back and watched video, and I've seen. What's so funny to me is seeing the transition of early Andre using the Prince graphite.
Yeah.
And then realizing that I was using a Prince graphite, I'm assuming probably with like Pro Blend or some type of which is insane.
For those of you who don't know what Pro Blend is,
Kevlar.
It's basically Go drive out to the countryside today, and when you look at a wire fence, basically imagine that being strung on a tennis racket.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what it is.
And then you go to 2005, and he's using modern technology, Luxilon, and I'm like, when we talk about certain all-time greats transcending generations in making the adjustments, that's one of the things that gets talked about when we talk about players from previous generations. We always say, oh, well, they would have figured it out. They would have made an adjustment. Andre is a great example of someone who started in one era, totally different from the way the training was done, diet, the level of professionalism, and just continued to be great all the way to 2005, where he played Fed in the final. So it's the guy was playing in the 80s, and he played Roger.
No,
it's pretty insane.
He was maybe the only one from like 80s through that kind of was able to adapt. But also, I personally think he's the best ball striker in history. Maybe we're getting there with Sinner or Novak. Like they don't square it up, but like it's just as far as like you see him. I was with him 2 days ago, and we were doing this little dumb corporate pickleball thing, and he gets it in his pocket with a pickleball. And just like if it's in his pocket, now his pocket is smaller because he doesn't, his hips have been bad for 20 years now. I mean, his ability to just create and like inject into it if it's in his zone is just absurd. So maybe we can argue, someone else is there, but there's no one who's like head and shoulders above as far as ball striking. Yeah. And I think you have to have a talent like that to transcend generations. And
technology.
Also, you can give him, he's so talented with his racket and the ability to create. You give him Pro Blend, you give him Lux, you give him Gut. Like, there are a lot of guys who got swallowed. I struggled in the middle of my career going with, like, when guys got to all poly, and my stroke production was trained from the time I was little with,
that's huge.
with not
that's
that.
huge. The way that you're
what were they getting? More power, more spin, like or you're just able to control the ball.
Yes,
more
a
now.
little bit of
everything.
But the part that he said in the beginning is about the way that your strokes are kind of constructed from the time you start tennis is huge. Like, you look at Pete's technique and Lendl's technique, like their strokes were made for small square inch head, heavier rackets, small heads, flat hitting, and just being able to, if I get this racket on the ball and I can get the momentum going, it's a club and the ball is shooting through. I don't think Pete and Ivan would start those same mechanics if they started playing tennis in 2000.
No.
You don't, that's just, you can get a little bit more wrist into it. You can kind of maneuver the ball and create angle, create spin. So the stroke mechanics that started at the beginning of their careers goes all the way through the end. And for Andre to have that type of stroke mechanic with Pro Blend and then end his career with Luxilon and still able to control the ball and do anything he wanted is insane.
He could have controlled it with a Louisville Slugger. Like he just, so anyways, I know that he doesn't get put in the forehands list. I'm like, I don't get that at all. One of the best forehand returns of all time. The ability to eat up real estate and not be pushed off of it. He didn't need time to do whatever he wanted to do. So he's on there for me and pretty easily.
Okay.
Someone from my generation who would just hit clean winners. Like you would be playing against him and you would know if you didn't hit a ball perfectly to that side, there was a chance that you weren't going to see the ball again. And he would just wipe it out. Like, the ability to hit winners and the long levers of this guy. Del Potro's forehand.
Oh, you know it well.
Oh, dude, you would stick a chip. Like, a lot of times when people have like a massive swing and take back, you can hit
rush it.
Well, you can hit like a silly, if you stick a chip, they don't catch up to it. It comes off a little squirmy. His ability to take that lever and at the last minute take a chip that you just knifed inside out, and then he just sweeps it cross court. I mean, there would be sets where, he hit 9 forehand winners. I remember playing him in DC one time, and it was 2009. I just lost the Wimbledon final, and we were playing in the finals of DC. It was hotter. It was like standing on the sun that day. One of those days in DC, and he was struggling. Like, we got to the third set, and I was in like great physical condition. I'm guessing he had probably just come from somewhere else, and like you could see he was struggling. We're in a third set breaker. He hit nothing but first serves, first and seconds. Didn't double fault. And then I knew he couldn't move. He could not move. And I hit a serve, and he was literally just waiting back. Hit 4 forehand winners on just slaps. I lose the match. You know how annoying it is to lose the match and then walk into the locker room and listen to the guy cramp for 2 hours? There's nothing. I could have played another 3 sets. Like,
oh man,
it was the worst. But he could just, and it's like I'm sitting there going, he can't move. And if he gets a forehand, I might not see it again. Like, his forehand, one of the heaviest, biggest shots. I mean, he would play like big 3. He was one like, and if he doesn't get hurt, I don't know that he has the volume of Murray because his body didn't cooperate, but he along with Murray and Wawrinka are probably the only guys that I saw where on their best day they could take the racket out of the big 3's hand with a weapon.
I would throw prime Thiem at various points in his career because I felt like he was one of the guys who had the power off both his forehand, backhand, just roping, but like the consistency that Delpo had. Like, even when he was out all of that time with the wrist injury,
he would come back and get back to 3.
He came back and was like top 5 in the world again. And it was like he could just sit out and not the best. He was a good mover for big guys, but not a good defender. Like,
he was, and we'll get into this maybe in another episode. We'll do probably best movement, but like there are guys who are really fast and there are guys who hit well on the run. Yeah. So like Delpo is never going to be accused of being faster or having great foot speed, but even when he was extended, like the ball could be 3 feet. He was able to still inject something into it. So he was great at hitting on the run, but not a great mover. Right. Which kind of should play into all of that. But Delpo had like a wipeout for him.
Can you explain a little bit more about that? So you're saying on the run, he would still be able to generate the same pace and control,
Yeah,
even
like
if he was off platform.
more.
There are some guys who are like the fastest guys ever. Like James will listen to this and he'll be pissed. But like James would try to hit his way out of defense, right? So you didn't feel his speed as much because it wasn't as if he was like clawing a ball back. Even though like in a 100-yard dash, he would lap me, right? But he didn't use his defense as much. Delpo, even when he was extended, could like pinch a backhand, get back into the court. Like he was really good on the run as opposed to being fast. Like James would lap him, and Delpo wasn't anywhere near as good a mover as James. But James, you didn't feel his defense because he just refused to play it. Sometimes Delpo could actually play defense and get back in, and you felt like he was like lurching and lunging, but like you were still kind of neutral.
And then he would get back to that forehand.
Yeah, it was like super annoying.
And another thing too with the running forehand, a lot of times when players are running, they're defending, so they're a little bit behind the baseline, which means they got a lot more court and distance to work with. So they can, like Delpo used to have some crazy hard flat running forehands, but if you look at it, a lot of them were when he was 7-8 feet behind the baseline. If he, with that big backswing, knows he's got an extra 7-8 feet to work with on the other side, he could just let it go.
Yep.
And so it's a little bit like we've talked a little bit about Medvedev, how that ball traveling at such a long distance. Daniil doesn't hit it as hard. If you add Delpo's speed to that type of like depth behind the court, when you're the opponent and it's coming in, you're like, and then you're stuck trying to lift it. So Delpo he used that to his advantage. He didn't defend well, but he could run. He could measure his steps. He could run them down. And because he was 8 feet behind the baseline, he's like, I got another 8 feet on the other side of the court to work with.
And he was strong enough to actually
and would just do it.
Well, he was also like you talked about. Every person we've mentioned so far was great at timing their stride.
Yeah.
Like they didn't get pinched when they were on the run. They weren't like, it was like he would time, he gets pulled to his forehand, doesn't like playing defense, 3 long steps. And on that third step, boom, he would just inject pace into it. And it would like, and he was strong enough, to Chris's point, to get it to sail 5 or 6 feet further when he needed to. So like, he's not fast, but you didn't really like feel like he didn't come up with a lot of points because he was slow.
Yeah.
His levers were so long, and he was an intelligent mover, if not a fast one, right? But he's in there, and then I think probably 2 that will cross over. Obvious, maybe the 2 best forehands in history are Roger and Rafa, but for completely different reasons.
Yeah, I agree. I'm curious I've studied Roger's forehand so much.
Yeah.
And he has, it's great the way that we outlined a lot of the players of the previous generation. We talk about the players now being like a compilation of the big 3 or the big 4. Roger's forehand had the ability to take time away and catch the ball early like Andre. He could redirect you right off the baseline, right off the short hop. He had a great running forehand like Pete, even like Delpo. And I feel like Roger just had the variety, whereas if he wanted to go short cross off the court and swing you that way and then redirect a bunt up the line when the whole court's open, he could do everything. It wasn't a one-dimensional boom. Some guys have just massive forehands. It wasn't that it was so big. It made you feel so rushed, and it took so much time away.
There's a couple of things. He didn't, like, when Delpo laid into one, you felt heat.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't really feel heat with Roger. His ability to, he's like Maddox. Like, his ability to, you put it on a shoe tops to perfect spin, play it up, it flutters up on your backhand. Like, his racket control when he was beat was so annoying. Like, he could flip, not like Andre where he's,
injecting pace, like
firming
Andre,
it up.
yeah.
He could get out of it with one. So let's like play a hypothetical point. Like, he serves, you stick a return middle. He flutters one up to your, like, and people don't even realize what he's just done if they're watching.
And on TV, you have no idea how hard that shot is. Like, because the height that he's creating
He
over
just
the
makes
net.
it look so smooth.
But then he it's not an accident.
Yeah.
So I stick it, let's say I pull it off, I actually succeed in what I'm trying to do on a return. He, off of his, ball could be behind him, little racket movement, he'll flip it up to where it's fluttering high on my backhand.
And now
he knows
you're running.
He knows that I can't punch him out from there.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden,
The chip
he either
starts.
pulls the string, but he can go this little flutter one, and if I don't hit that next backhand well, to Chris's point, he's taking an angle where he's made up 6 feet, and now he's 3 feet inside the court. He's here, and I'm all of a sudden stuck, and I don't know if he's going
You got to guess.
forehand or backhand.
Yep.
And at the last second, like, he could be going here, and then if you move,
He would hold it, wouldn't he?
he would like wait and then just lay. So he hit more winners at 40
Slow,
miles an hour,
very
where
slow.
you look so stupid, and everyone else just thought you were an idiot, and it's like you don't understand what just happened.
Yeah.
Do you have an exact point in mind? Are you reliving one right now?
I mean, 12 years of them.
Is there an
But,
exact one or many?
Yeah, but the thing that I think he did better than anyone else was not take your time away with pace, but with the angle to the ball.
Yeah.
He never, ever took a bad angle.
Yeah.
Especially against people that couldn't create the speed or the depth of a Rafa or a Novak. They were able to kind of neutralize him in very different ways. But like against normies, you know, he'd hit a serve, and he could see it immediately. If you didn't hit it perfect,
And it was going to be short.
he was kind of inside the court and had you both ways. And it was like pick your poison at that. But like the recognition off your racket and the ability to use his forehand, and also in stride. Like most people, they move, they set, and then they go. He could be like falling this way, and he would like almost like walk into his forehand either way. He could hit it without his feet being set and still take like a full swing. So it's like he's beating you with 3 steps inside the court, and then he's beating you with another step or 2 because he doesn't need both feet to be set to actually do something with it. I mean, he could be moving left and lay it off right. He could be moving right and like hit it either way, flat line, or like he's saying, pull it off the court. So you were constantly in this thing where you could never fully commit when you were on defense.
And I want to talk about the thing you said about taking time away again, Mike. So when I was growing up, coaches would always tell you the ball lands short, you want to move your feet up to it to take time away. So you don't have to hit it harder and take more risk. You just get the same effect by limiting your opponent's ability or time they have to react. But what happens is when you take a line to the ball and you're running almost to it or at an angle, as opposed to letting it come back, you're taking time away from yourself. So it's like there's a catch-22 there. There's a point where it's like I need to take time away, but I don't want to get caught hitting the ball too close to my body. I still want to be able to extend to the point of like what Andre did super well, what Roger was able to kind of manage those hard balls at his feet, redirect. Like I've talked to a lot of really good players with really good forehands, and we always talk about Roger's right foot. When he got inside the court using that right foot to take it line or take it cross, he made it look so easy. And then you get on the practice court, and you're like, hey, let's rep some. Like, sir, like feed one coming in at an angle. I'm going to cut the angle off. And even in feeding, it's tough to time it. And you don't have pressure. You don't have wind. You don't have anything. It's like that's just a tough shot to do. And he made it look so easy to the point where, yeah, like 14-year-olds like myself in practice trying to just charge balls to take time away. But now maybe we're missing it long. Because just like Delpo had 8 extra feet to hit into, when Roger takes time away, he's got like 3 or 4 less feet. He's trying to get the ball over the net and down and be in position. And you turn it on and you look, you go, it looks way easier than it actually is.
So he could beat you for pace. He could beat you with angles to the ball, so court positioning. And then he also had this annoying thing that made you look so stupid. He would set, and then he would take like almost like a bluff step. Right? So like if I'm coming up,
oh man,
if I'm coming up, like I don't know, let's try it. So if he's coming in here, right, and normally you kind of run through the shot, and hopefully we get this on one of them, he would kind of act like he was running through, give you a stutter step,
make you move
to where you would kind of set like this, and then like your knees would buckle, and then he would like bite it off. So he was bluffing you, like the ability to cut off the angle. So that's one thing you had to deal with. He could hit it flat, or like people don't talk about how spinny he could hit his forehand.
Yeah, man. When I practiced with him, I was shocked.
He could hit it like he could swing full, and it would have like this little flutter.
Yeah,
like it was absurd. So he could inject pace, and then he would bluff you with his footwork. Like you would be here, and he would take like a stutter step, see where you kind of fell or committed to, and then he would like turn it the other way. I'm like,
so when you're
in stride.
When you're on the other end of that type of like stutter step or someone holding it, you in tennis, the same thing with returning a serve, returning any shot.
Yeah,
you get in a cadence and a rhythm of your opponent's timing of their swing. So you know, ball racket goes up, down, swing, and over the course of a match, you're seeing that over and over. So you kind of get a feel for the cadence. Same thing with a serve. How some servers can change their toss, go quick toss, go higher toss. It disrupts the timing of like when it's a split. There's a split. Now I can go. Well, when that timing gets disrupted on a short forehand and you're thinking, okay, split, wait, he's not hitting. And now you're kind of now you're off, and he's just waiting to see. You're a little bit off balanced, or you commit overly, you just commit to, I'm guessing this way. He'll just do that step, get a look out of the corner of his eye, roll it over there 40 miles an hour. And you're kind of like, well, what do I do?
So everybody else on the list, it sounded like it was a lot of power. It was a lot of like being.
That's my takeaway.
Everybody else on the list sounded like a lot of it was like power and like being like almost so perfect at what their forehand is. But here it sounds more that he was able to be perfect, but subtly perfect in multiple ways.
Multiple different ways.
Like the variety. I don't know that anyone's ever had like more variety.
Yeah.
And then the last one on the list is change the and then I have an asterisk next to one just based on.
Before you get to Rafa, you have an asterisk next to somebody.
I do. Rafa is obviously the guy. Change tennis with no one's ever hit it harder with more spin.
Yep.
It jumps like you would play a professional player who hit it hard, heavy, and you're like, man, that's a lot. And then you play Rafa, and it's just different. He changed everything. Nobody could attack Roger's slice before he came along. And then all of a sudden, Roger's slice, someone can actually create and inject, and it's not risky. Like it spins. He changed. Rafa changed everything, and he's one of the guys who grew up with that string.
Yeah.
Right? So we're seeing this freak of an athlete who can create this speed, has this magical ability, and then someone gave him the wand.
Yeah, a cheat code
that makes his already insane skill 40% better, right? And then he can just hold it. Like people are like, I don't understand why people don't come in anymore. It's because of like Rafa.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to come in? You have to be so perfect. How are you going to? The only time, I mean, I would serve and volley against him because that's your best approach shot.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't on a first serve. But like you come in, if he has any time, whatever, he's creating, the ball is tumbling by the time it gets to you. So you can't just hit a straight flat volley. You have to actually kind of get under it and then stick it enough to where he doesn't have enough time to do it again. And he can hit it off both, he can create that spin off both, we're talking about forehands right now, but he can do it off both wings. He's a natural righty. How annoying is that? It's absurd. Like he throws headbands into the crowd right-handed after he wins.
Everything righty, and then
talent's a joke.
When you talk about why players don't come in anymore, as a player who tries to come in a lot, you're going to get passed. But I've worked with a lot of coaches who would talk about the position. You're like, oh, you come in, you shade this way so that, look, if they hit it here, you're one step here or you're two step here. And I go, it's not that I can't touch the ball. It's not touching the ball isn't the problem. If I come to net, I can get a racket on most of them. It's the ball's dipping, and now I'm having to carve at it and create spin because just holding it flat, the ball's just going to play my racket. What? So it's not just, oh, can I touch here? It's like, no, that ball they can go right at the center net strap. Yeah. The ball drops below the level of the net. I'm a sitting duck if I don't execute a perfect volley.
Yeah. The thing, also, this is a side tangent because we're supposed to be on forehands, but to your point, when you come in and you're playing these guys who can create this speed off of both sides, people are like, I can't believe he's missing volleys. No, you're missing volleys. It's the same. Because you have to take risk. You have to stick them, otherwise you're dead.
Yep.
Like I could go out today and play. Like I could not miss a volley for an hour, right? Maybe that's a stretch. I could not miss a volley. I could not miss hardly any volleys if all I had to do was make them anywhere. Like that's not the point. If you're out of position and Roger's, coming in, you have to create something. Not only do you have to make it, you have to stick it to where you're out of position. You're giving up the entire court. If you don't hit it well, they're just picking you off easily.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't believe you missed that volley. It's not about the volley. It's about doing enough with the volley to where it's not instant death if you don't hit it perfectly. Like it's all, and you have to make these decisions within half a second. But like Rafa, there's no more depressing place to be. And we've talked about Roger's ability in the middle of the court. Rafa hits this tumbler to your backhand. Like it's going away from you. The hardest shot to redirect is a backhand line for most people. It's going away from you, so you have to pull the outside of it a little bit. So even if you want to hit a line, like you have to hit
You got to aim almost like middle.
You have to hit it perfect, otherwise he's getting another forehand.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's the other option? Stick it cross court, because if you leave it short, you're dead. He was able to get on that back left leg, and all of a sudden, you're obviously check stepping left because you have to protect the big ball going away to your backhand side, right? Yeah. You always have to protect that. When you knew he was playing well, and he was just you'd be 2-all in the first set somewhere, and he would lean back on that leg, he'd hit 2 here, and then the third one you're here, and he would wait till the last second. You would have the check step, and then he would just go and just rip city line. He would hit a winner, and he would hit a winner that was 4 feet inside the sideline and a foot past the service line. Purely just because he knew that you had to protect the spin on the backhand side, and you knew it was coming, but you didn't know when.
Yeah.
And so, like, he basically just takes all the strategy out of it.
And what's amazing, too, about those one-off forehand lines, I'm sure you know it because you experienced it playing them, it doesn't take that many of them before it messes with your mind as the opponent, because you're always anticipating, he's going to my backhand, he's going to my backhand, he's going to my backhand, he's going to my backhand. He nails you with one forehand line that you can't even make a move for, and you're like,
that's open.
That's open the whole time.
It's just open.
And then he may not hit that shot again for another game or two. But in your mind, now you're kind of shading back this way, so the ball to the backhand is more effective. And you're so far out, now he may go line again. Oh, no, he's going back out. So he could just kind of use it as sparingly. Just boom, one line to kind of set the tone, let you know that it's there. And then now I just opened you up to just keep going back to your backhand over and over and over and over again. And then obviously against better competition, better players, he had to use it a bit more to kind of keep them off balance. But for the most part, he just knew I can hit my forehand into your backhand, and that is going to be my recipe for success. Now, I do think Rafa was a better tactician, especially later in his career, than maybe a lot of people will give him credit for. It's a conversation for another day. But that for the base of his game in those early stages of his career,
to the roof.
it was just like rinse and repeat for a lot of guys.
And he had his base setting, like, if he wasn't confident in his forehand and he wasn't ripping on like a faster court, if the court was like this tabletop and I could get it back and actually through the court, then, you know, he wasn't going to do. I played him at Indian Wells, and it was like, you try to get through that court, he just waits and goes zip, and he's beating me by 6 feet. Like, I'm like, this sucks. Like, then you get on a fast court, but his base offering, if he's not hitting that one line, is this thing that's up over your head.
And there's not much you can do.
Yeah, you were just saying that before when you were describing, and the people listening wouldn't be able to understand, but you were pointing up over your shoulder and then two down at your hip.
No, but it's moving away.
And it's moving away from you. Explain a little bit more about that. In order to get
it, like, if you hit it like this, it's just you're hitting a foul ball
and
left.
You're losing all your power. You're just
but
trying
also,
to get it.
like, think about it. He hits one of those balls line where at the last second he's able to manipulate it and just send it line. That instantly makes his base offering better. Because instead of cheating fully, all of a sudden you have to respect it, like Chris is saying. So he's going, okay, I have him here, and now this one is a little bit more open just because we both know what I just did to him. So this one's going to be open, and they're going to have to respect this one too. It's like pick your poison.
Yeah.
At that point.
So I love watching some of the court level points of tennis, because I think, to your point, you get to see the spin and how the ball reacts off the court, because when you're in the high up camera angle, it looks like they're just kind of playing ping pong. Like the ball's just going right there in the strike zone. There's another one right in the strike zone, another one right. And then you get the camera where it's low and you see, oh, that serve was up above the shoulder. He made it look like it was easy to handle, or whoever it is. So, yeah, that ball of not just being up, but up and away, and how your body has to kind of hit the ball, and now your body may be a little further out of position because you had to kind of run through it. Now there's more court open. So there's so many factors at play.
Yeah, and Rafa, obviously, his ability to, like, once he runs around and it's like the opposite.
Once he gets just, oh man,
like you'd have that back end where you're either trying to hit a cross court firm. If you tried to go line and you missed it, and it, like, because you have to get the outside of the ball. So sometimes, and by missing it, I mean hitting a great ball and it being a little more middle than you want. He's getting another forehand and he's sending you this way, inside out. Like, his ability to quickly get around, I mean, and just look for that ball, and his footwork, different types of footwork, wasn't like inside the court like Roger, but his ability to get the ball he wants all the time was like unparalleled.
As a guy who used your slice a lot, were you ever able to get a slice to his backhand? No. You couldn't find the backhand?
Only if you went really short.
Which, like near the service line area.
But then again, he's a natural righty. So like your reward for hitting a great slice short is the fact that he's going to get up there with two hands, and his backhand cross, he would rip it. He loved hitting that shot. So your reward was dealing with one of the best backhands in the world.
Yeah, you know, Sebi Corda, we were talking one time, and Sebi goes, similar to the Andre thing, he goes, Rafa's forehand gets so much credit, but I don't think people realize just how great his backhand is. He goes,
but that's
goes, if it weren't for his forehand, we would look at Rafa's backhand as one of the best in the history of tennis.
You can't get away from it. He hits a cross. He didn't like hitting it. I mean, he could pass. He could do all of these things, but his like the fact how he could pass on like the full stretch with that right hand on the outside. But if you left one hanging to that side, you knew where it was going. Yeah. He was going to send it cross court to your forehand. And it didn't matter. Like his base offering, maybe more than anyone in history, if he was executing it, didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like he could take his base offering and apply it to Novak. He could apply it to Roger, where like the greatest players in the history of the game had to react. The leftiness is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Right. But the way his ball tumbled, you had to adjust to him way before he ever had to adjust to you. Right. Like there was just, you had to shorten his footwork. And also, like it needs to be said, every single person on this list, 10 out of 10 footwork.
Yeah.
It's hard to have a great forehand if you have sloppy footwork.
Yeah.
Or a great any shot. Like all of these guys. Courier, those little half steps. Lendl, the long strides into it. Del Potro, the same thing. Like not someone you would think about, but never really off balance hitting a shot. Even if you went through him, Roger, Rafa, like I think it's a non-negotiable to have elite footwork if you want to have one of the best given shots of all time.
Yeah, and being able to hit it well on the move, which I think Rafa has some incredible highlights of his running forehand. We talk about Pete, we talk about Roger, but I think we got to like, for some, I don't know if it's because he's a lefty. There's certain things about Rafa's game we kind of don't maybe appreciate as much. We're just like, oh, he's a lefty. But some of the running forehands that he was able to produce on the outstretched passing shots, like 12 feet behind the base, it was a joke.
If you're on a clock, he hits it from 9 to 3.
It was a joke.
Like you can't, like how do you can cover line? You could be sitting on the line, and he could pass you because it goes. You know where I'm going with it. Because it'll be 3 feet outside the line.
You got to cover the alley.
It's a banana.
You got to commit to. I'm going to hit this out volley.
It's in the alley until
it's not
2 feet before it bounces, and then it curves. Like
it curves back.
It's like a 7-10 split in bowling.
Yeah,
like it's
exactly.
It's absurd. I have a couple more. I have an asterisk next to because 2012 was a cutoff.
Okay.
Novak's forehand got way better over time.
It did.
Now 11, it was almost prime. Now up till 2012,
you think 11 was prime?
No, I'm saying not prime. I'm sorry. He had an unreal year in 11.
His year was incredible.
Correct.
Yeah.
But his forehand early, way bigger swing.
Yeah, technically you could see it. Like it's so different now.
His forehand, I think, is one of the best of all time, and it's similar to Andre and Rafa. Like you give the backhand credit, so you ignore one thing. I think he has one of the best forehands all time. If I had to pick a top 5 or top 6, he would probably be on it. But if you're cutting me off at 2012, I don't think his forehand in 2012 was as good as the people that we just mentioned.
I don't think that's a controversial take at all.
But it's not as if because we're gonna get Novak Army going. Fuck you.
Wait for the comment section.
You fucking. It's amazing how people are like, you hate him, you give him too much credit. I'm like, which one is it?
To me, that seems you're fair. Like you take that. If you're getting hate from one side and love on the other, you're like, all right, I must be doing my job.
Because I'm happy you're doing Alcaraz and Sinner because they're getting shitty now too. I'll tell you. But so that's the only reason that Novak isn't on my list is because I was given a 2012 cutoff. So happy that at least to the sane person to my right doesn't seem controversial. A couple of like just honorable mentions that aren't on this list, but like they just need to be talked about. Robert and Söderling could fucking mash the ball.
Yeah.
Like
another guy, big guy, big backswing.
Kind of similar to Del Potro, but like he would come and just Mike's literally it's the first time he's ever heard his name.
I've never heard that name before.
He beat Rafa at the French prime Rafa.
Okay.
On a day where it was 45 degrees and wet.
Rainy.
Like only person on earth that could hit it through the court that day. 6'5", early exit, like had some issues, but like for 2 or 3 years,
dude, nobody wanted to play him.
That guy hit it so hard off his serve. He was I don't want to be hyperbolic, top 2 or 3 most powerful players I ever played. Now,
both wings too. So he had power on both wings.
Not fast, couldn't move, all of the nuance. This was basically, I'm going to hang back and send every ball, and he would, but so he didn't, we're not talking about the nuance, the different shot shapes. That wasn't it. His was walk into the middle ring, and I'm going to take your head off.
Yeah.
He could send it. Fernando Gonzalez, like, he's on every list. His forehand, when he had 2 feet set, was one of the biggest I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
But you could serve there, right? You could play offense to that side. So he was on, some guys, he was like #1 on his list.
Yeah,
I love Fernando. Fernando's a great friend of mine. He's not on this list. He may be one of the biggest forehands of all time, but that doesn't mean...
To me, biggest does not translate to being the best. 100%.
Like, only person this side of Andre who could create if he picked the right side and had no backswing.
Oh, I know exactly where this is going. James.
Right there.
Gotta be James Blake. Gotta be James. Similar technique, too. Just rock the racket back.
He was so annoying.
Had no problem with guessing on returns and would just lay into it.
And I also knew, because James is one of my best friends in the world, I knew we would be playing, and it's like 30 all, break point. I'm like, he knew that all I wanted to do was challenge his forehand, and all he wanted was to get one.
Yeah.
And if he picked one off, it pissed me off so much because I would look away and I just knew he had that shit-eating grin on his face. I just knew it. I knew he was giving me like that smirk. But he could create as much speed with no time or backswing. I mean, he would hit forehands before it was like normal 100 miles an hour off of a first serve.
Yeah.
Like, would just crank.
The U.S. Open match point always stays in my mind on it was either grandstand or arms. No, I think it was grandstand.
Was it? I don't know. I know exactly what you're talking about. It was one of his last years. It was a joke.
Hit a forehand return winner right up the middle of the court. Guy couldn't even move. Could not take a step. Serve, ball by. Yeah, amazing.
It was like no time off of 2 feet, like to just, and he could take the racket out of people's hands. Like he had no time on the back. He could do it on the backhand side too with one hand.
He actually had a surprise. Like he used to do okay against Rafa at one point in his career because Rafa had no rhythm. James was okay with make, miss, and just
beat him in Indian Wells.
I think so.
And he beat him in the U.S. Open too.
He did beat him in the Open. Yeah. No, it's. James, he used to frustrate Rafa just because Rafa couldn't get that rhythm, and James was just taking cuts. James wouldn't allow the backhand or the forehand to get above his Rafa's forehand to get above his backhand, so he would just take a step inside the baseline, try to go line. If he makes it, he's like, great. If I don't, next point.
James he had this ability, and like I still to this day don't know if it's the best thing or the worst thing ever. He had this ability to like, he would think about, and you talk about this because you just kind of finished and just talk about like the mental part of this. He would be like, it was like the most Harvard thing ever for him. He'd be like, okay, it's a 12-month season, right? I'm going to take cuts the entire year. My best chance in like on average, if I just take cuts all year, I'm going to catch a heater for 6 weeks a year. And then I'm going to be 7 in the world. He could, for 3 weeks, not make a ball. And fourth week, I'm just going to rip again. Like, that's impossible to do.
It's impossible.
Like, take feelings out of it.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. The moment I lost 1 or 2 in a row, I was changing everything.
I'd be pushing, making balls. I'd be like, I'm not going to take a cut until I can make 3 in a row.
Exactly.
But he was like calculated. Nope. I know what, like, everyone would criticize, you're the fastest guy. You don't play D. You don't. And he's like, no, this is my best chance. And I don't know. I don't think he was wrong.
No, he's 4 in the world. Like,
I don't think he was wrong.
What are we going to expect him to have done more? Like, yeah, obviously also, like, guys want to win slams. But
he didn't have a good second serve. Like, how was he going to protect a second serve?
Yeah.
Like Rip City. Like, I would have wanted him to play soft on that second. Like, I would have gotten into it.
Yeah.
But he would just take it out of your hands and be like, my results will be there. I'm going to make a finals of a Master Series event. I'm going to make a quarters of a slam. I'm going to, win 3 tournaments, and here I am. Like, will I do that if I'm like ducking in and out of strategies every match?
Probably not.
Probably not. Like, I thought he was wrong until I thought he was right.
You look at the career and the body of work afterwards, you're like, you know what?
But he could he was one of the only guys I could hit a $138 like T ad side, and if he read it, it was by me, and I didn't even move. He's a mannequin maker. Like, he had an absolute monster also. So that's my list. I'm sure I forgot someone, but for another day.
Let's take a break before we transition.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah,
fine.
Sometimes you got to pay the bills.
Idiot. Welcome back to Serve. Mike,
We're back.
Are we allowed to go again?
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, good.
We checked all the boxes and paid the water bill.
Great. Fantastic. We just got through my list up until 2012-ish. All right. It's up to you, Banks.
Yeah.
Get us home.
Yeah, 2012 Forehands. Obviously, we spoke at length about Rafa. He's going to be in there. We don't really have to dig into that. Roger is also going to be in there. Yeah. But I do want to talk about that as well, because that 2017 year, we saw a different type of Roger after he had to sit out for injury. I think 2016 with the back. Sat out for about 6 months. He came back in 2017. I think he went on an absolute tear that entire year. But it felt like he became more aggressive. Everyone talked about the backhand, but I think his forehand was even bigger. I think he was injecting more pace. He was doing evering he did in 2005 and 2008.
He just wasn't playing defense.
Yeah, he was just committed to just playing way more aggressive, and it worked. So he made some adjustments, but those two are still up there.
Side note, just real quick, while we're on that year, when we interviewed Rafa, he goes, for me, that was the best version of Roger that I had ever seen.
I said I didn't play him, but I'm watching on TV, and then I go back and watch 05, and I'm like, dude, 17 Roger beat this. He's better than 05 Roger. Like, from the quality of ball, his ability to manage balls on the backhand, he was so aggressive. I felt like in 2005, he did a lot of it. It's just the speed was slower. It was slower. He didn't have to defend as much.
I would have liked. I'll just tell you this because I think as far as like matchups go, like the way he was playing Rafa, and Rafa even said that.
Yeah, it suited.
The way it's because it's all matchups.
Yeah, true.
All I would have wanted playing Roger was for him to take massive cuts on every ball.
Really?
100%. I did not want him chipping. I didn't want to have to create for my shoe tops. I didn't want to. So I think matchups matter.
Okay.
All I would have wanted is for him, and my serve's different than Rafa's, right?
That's
like
true.
He has time.
It's very true.
I would have wanted him swinging that backhand as hard as he could on every second serve. What I didn't want was for him to make 90% of his chips.
Okay. Fair.
So I do think matchups matter. I think the way that he was playing then definitely was the best matchup for Rafa at that time. But I think I'm curious to see what James would think. I'm guessing he would have wanted Roger to play out of his shoes also.
Fair.
Right. So
Fair.
I would have wanted him to actually miss. Right. I did not want to have to create because I think in 05 he was the best offensive and defensive player simultaneously in the world. Mm-hmm. I think in 2017, I think he'd lost half a step. I thought, the field had gained on weight of shot, right? Everyone was hitting it bigger. So I think he had to play higher risk tennis. All I would have wanted was for him to take more risk when we played against each other.
Fair.
Yeah. All right. Who else we got?
Okay. Go ahead and talk about the big two with Carlos and Yannick.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm throwing those two in there. Carlos, to me, has the forehand of Roger, just with more spin, more firepower. He doesn't cut the angle off as much, but they're so similar. He can get that ball to lift up and go high line if he stretches you off the court on the do side. He can also just step in and just run around, dictate play out of the ad side and make it kind of tail off inside out. He can pick it up inside in. He has all of the variety on the forehand, and we talked a lot about Roger. Just slide Carlos in there, just add a few MPHs and a few RPMs. I think it's kind of the big thing.
I think that's the most similar comp.
Yeah.
Just based on footwork and everything we've seen. One thing I will maybe give Roger the tip of the cap is forehand return, the ball you should just melt into his racket. Like you couldn't rush him to his forehand return. Carlos is maybe a little bit bigger on that forehand return side. So maybe if you get like a Zverev injecting 140, Roger can still firm that up. Pace didn't affect him.
Yeah.
So if we're like splitting hairs, maybe, Carlos is the newest version and it's bigger. I think Roger probably had more control of the racket face and impact on like defending a massive serve.
Yeah.
But Carlos is an all-timer and it's not the same in my mind, but the comparison is similar. He's completely changed the game with his drop shot.
Yeah.
We've seen it forever. We know that it's there. It used to be an irresponsible shot. And now it's this thing where we've talked about how all of the greats make you pick your poison, whether it's Rafa's forehand line versus cross. Roger, you have to defend and commit to a certain spot, and you can look dumb sometimes. Carlos, okay, imagine you don't hit one perfectly, and he has 2 feet under him, right? So you have to defend simultaneously. He can hit it over 100 miles an hour both ways. So you got to defend 10 feet to your right and 10 feet to your left. You got to scoop back and able to do that. And then at the last second, he can just brush the racket underneath the ball, and then you have to defend the 25 feet in front of you as well. All within a quarter of a second. Has completely changed everything with his ability to hit that shot on the run. Like he'll be scooting left and play it like inside out. Like you can't account for all of those options at one time. So if he executes, he will beat you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to Jameer Jenkins about this last night, about the drop shot in particular. And he says, he talks to people still about tennis, although he's not in it anymore. And he was saying how people will ask him, why do guys, they can't get the drop shot? Like, how is Carlos' drop shot so effective? And he goes, imagine you got Mike Tyson right in front of you and you're prepared to be punched in the face. Like you're sitting there, you're bracing, you're tensing up, ready for that haymaker. Yeah. And then he just pokes you in the side and kind of tickles you. That's what the drop shot is. Like if you're braced, you're so prepared for this blow.
I'll take it even further.
What?
It's the Tyson comparison is perfect, except he kicks you in the nuts. Like it's like, you're ready for this, then he just goes poof, and you're like, oh. Like, that's what it is. It's like you have to account for all of the options. That's what people miss about a lot of these things. Why can't you just get the drop shot?
Because I'm thinking about this or that or this or that.
You have to account for all the pain points in a half a second. That's it.
Yeah.
And 10 feet, 100 miles an hour, all directions. You have to back up 4 or 6 feet just to account for most of the options, and then he can slide the racket underneath at the last second. You can't see it.
Yeah.
It's the same preparation.
The preparation is so strong.
Like it used to look different. Like you could tell people would, if Chris or I were hitting a forehand drop shot,
you could kind of see it last second.
You would know it.
Yeah.
A second before. You would know it way before you would know with Carlos.
Yeah.
Even if we were trying to hide it, it's just that racket work is very different. I think he's kind of changed everything. And now you see Yannick
starting to use it.
He uses it when he's pulled to his forehand. He hits a cross-court drop shot all the time. And he's using it against Carlos. I'm like, this is what rivalries are. This is why it's great. Because like these guys are just copycatting each other.
Yeah. And then that was a great segue into Yannick and Yannick's forehand. It's funny how you gave honorable mention to Novak and obviously how his forehand kind of progressed later in his career. I think his forehand is incredible.
Yeah.
Sinner has that. Like he doesn't have the variety of the Roger. He doesn't have.
I don't know if he doesn't have
the one like in particular forehand like the inside out of Courier. He doesn't have like the one. He just hits all of them. 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 shot quality. And so it's like just jab after jab after jab after jab. And it's like, in a way, a little...
It's almost like body blows, though.
It was kind of... I was thinking like Rafa. Rafa's different because he has a spin that gets out of your strike zone. But in terms of the margin, he's not hitting it that close to the line. He can dig... When he finds one, he can keep you on the run and just kind of keep you off balance with it. But there's nothing about it that is, let me slow it up.
You're like 12%.
It's just boom, boom, cross, line.
He's an
doesn't
algorithm.
matter. Yep.
But also, talk about this, because if I'm seeing Yannick Sinner and I'm playing against him and I don't know who he is, right? But I see the technique and I see that lag. And by lag, I mean like that layoff, right? He creates so much speed because that wrist goes back and he's able to like time it through. If I see that when I'm playing, I'm going, okay.
I'm going to rush it?
Correct.
I'm going to rush it.
I can get to that side with that lag because there's no one that can time it up perfectly off of pace.
Yep.
Except for Yannick Sinner.
Yep.
The ability for him to have that lag and you still not be able to rush him to that side, I think that's the superpower on his forehand side.
Yeah.
And that's why you're 12% behind on every ball, is his ability to time up. And so we talk about ball striking. He's in that conversation with best ball strikers because of the lag he's able to create. Forehand and backhand, by the way. Like those wrists break on the backhand and then he just like, he sends them through, right? It's not like Andre where it's a little stiffer and you're using the entire body. It's like, it's his like loosey-goosey wrist and all, but it doesn't affect his timing.
Yeah.
He's like taking that risk to create the shot profile, but he times it up even if you attack it with pace.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to square that away mentally. That would fuck me up. Who else you got?
Well, I mentioned him last time. Should have just kind of held on to it, but I think Thiem. I think Thiem's forehand was, especially during his prime, that 2018.
Yeah,
we kind of saw him kind of ascend on the scene really quickly. But that 2018 to maybe right after COVID, he won obviously the U.S. Open in 2020. But his forehand was a joke, man. And also, he was one of the guys who could generate a lot of pace, who wasn't that tall, but from really far behind the baseline. Like, Thiem won its time. To talk about the thing with Sinner, Sinner has that lag. Sinner has just a bigger backswing.
Thiem had a big backswing.
He had a massive backswing, but to counter that and needing more time, he just gave himself a little bit more time behind the baseline.
Could he get away with that? He couldn't get away with like a grass or like something super greasy, right?
No. I don't think. I'm sure he finds ways to adjust, maybe shortening up the backswing, but I just felt like I remember seeing that Indian Wells final when Thiem beat Roger, and it felt like
he was great court
ripping
for him
off. Indian Wells was a phenomenal court for him. But it just felt like his forehand and his backhand, but his forehand in particular, he wanted to find as many forehands as he could, and he could generate pace and produce winners from any area. It didn't matter if he was in the alley on the ad side or he was hitting a running forehand on the deuce. If he wanted to give it gas, there was not much you could do. And he had so much margin. He was swinging out of his shoes, but there was margin there. It wasn't just straight.
That was a Luxembourg generation, by the way.
That was a Luxembourg generation.
And he's one of the guys, like a lot of times with tennis players, like I hit with Francis yesterday, and he takes off his jacket and goes sleeveless. I'm like, this guy's an animal. He's bigger than I thought he was.
Huge, dude.
A fucking animal. Like monster. Thiem's one of those guys, he plays so big that
you think he's like 6'4".
Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I wasn't on tour with Thiem. He came like 2 years after and was like good right afterwards. But I didn't see him. I was away from tennis. I wasn't involved. And then when you meet him, you're like, dude, you create that amount of power out of that body. Like he's smaller than you think when you see him in person. I mean, the guy could thump the ball.
Yeah.
Both sides.
Yeah. So I Thiem, I think, rounds out the 5. There are some honorable mentions. I got to go with a guy who can produce just as many RPMs as Rafa and Jack Sock. Yeah. I remember Jack Sock kind of ascending from playing you in the Open to kind of watching his career and everyone knowing, oh, he's got a good forehand, but it's really, I remember coaches saying he's got too much going on. Like it's not gonna last on tour. He won KZoo whatever 2 times, but when he gets on tour, it's not gonna last. The guys are gonna be able to rush it. And he made the adjustment of kind of maybe giving himself a little bit more space behind the baseline, being a bit more physical, and got the top 10 in the world with a forehand. Really good feel. I think Jack's feel is really good, but it was the forehand. Like if you go on the court playing Jack Sock, you're going, watch out for the forehand because he's producing 3,300 RPMs. And then I remember when we started to track data in tennis, when we got to see what the numbers actually were, people were shocked. They were going, Jack Sock, it's more RPMs than Rafa. His forehand's better than Rafa. It's like, whoa, it's not better.
No,
it's just more RPMs.
It's not better.
Stop it right now. Stop it right now.
But the numbers.
Get the fuck out of here. Fucking leave. So Sock's forehand too, like, it's absurd. You can get it to dive. Like it just dive. I do think he needs time. I think you could attack it with pace.
Yeah.
Easier than, like, he didn't accept pace like the other guys we're talking about. Yeah. But like you're talking, it's similar to like a Gonzalez or someone like my honorable mentions. Like when he was set, his spin profile was a joke. And you saw it when he was playing, singles, and then he started playing doubles, and the doubles players didn't know what to do.
They said Jack's forehand is like the hardest thing in the world to volley. Like that's what I was like. You should try to play singles. Imagine what it's like. You got to get the whole court.
God, imagine when it's not coming to you. God bless.
So, and also one thing that I think Jack kind of changed in the forehand. Jack was one of the first players who we started to hear about a super low tension in poly.
I was going to ask you about this.
Like, again, we've talked about technology and how it's changed over the years. When poly first came out, players were stringing it like you strung gut or like you strung pro blend. You gave it really high tensions because that's all you knew. And as time went on, it started to go lower and lower. And Jack was one of the first guys, I think I got this right, he was stringing at like 38, somewhere in or maybe low 40s, something that was absurd.
Which, by the way, it's impossible for anyone to control without that racket work. I couldn't play at 38. It would the ball would I would miss.
Explain a little bit more for like the normies.
So it's like basically think of it like a trampoline.
Softer,
Think of a trampoline. If my trampoline, I'll say this isn't going to make sense, but hopefully you get my point. If my trampoline is strung at 65. It doesn't move. Like you're not jumping as high.
You're jumping on the ground.
Stiff.
You're jumping on the ground pretty much.
Now, if it's 38, it gives way more. So it almost works like a slingshot. Mm-hmm. But that sounds great until you actually have to control it, right? There's the through boundary long is in play. The ability to swing as hard as Jack swung at the ball at 38 pounds. The only way you can play with that is if you have this ability to create RPMs where the ball finds gravity at some point. Like there's no chance I could get the ball to land half the time at 38. Like
it would just be a laser through the.
I would miss every backhand I ever hit because I don't hit topspin on my backhand.
Got it.
So his ability to create spin to Chris, I was actually gonna ask you that, was like absurd. So that changes. That's another element of technology changing the game because you're seeing people that can use the tools in such an extreme way.
Yep. And we saw players after that kind of start to go lower and lower and lower. I'm not going to say that he was the catalyst for it, but I think hearing Jack Sock hits 3,400 RPMs, he's stringing at 38. Naturally, as a player, we're all kind of competitive. Like maybe I should take my racket out and lower my tension because James used to string at 67?
He would string it
something crazy.
He would string at 64 in Dusseldorf, Germany, when it was 52 degrees.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't want to do a little bit? He goes like, nope, 12-month rule.
Harvard education.
12 months. Over 12 months.
That Harvard education. Yeah. I mean, and the guys that you've seen in today's tennis, because there's a lot of guys who are really good forehands now, and we have the numbers to kind of back it up. Like Feast, his forehand, I think when Feast first came on tour, his forehand was probably a bit more of his liability. He could hit more winners on it, but he would miss a bit more. He's gotten that thing now where he's averaging, I think, 82 to 84 miles an hour at 3,200 RPM. Like, we're also seeing guys like Botic van de Zandt.
I have a name here that I tried to predict your list, and I got most of them. The one person who I think absolutely has a thumper, and if you leave anything hanging, he'll try to wipe you out. The guys that can beat him to pace, he doesn't defend as well on that side, but Taylor Fritz puts a hurt on the ball. Yeah,
of course.
Like, it's almost got that Courier forehand where like it comes off flat and hard and deep. He's one of the guys that I think, like, you leave anything hanging, it ain't gonna be subtle.
Yeah, I guess 100% agree. Like, and Fritz has an ability to manage his aggression when he needs to. I think Fritz, he doesn't use it as much in just most matches because his ground game and his ability to control the ball and his backhand is so solid. His serve is so dominant. Like, you see it when he has to go up against a Carlos and he needs to gun it and he needs to redline it. You see how great the forehand is. But the guy has been top 5 in the world. And so many areas of his game kind of, it's almost like a fault, like the Andre thing. If you're playing he does everything all right, you're kind of like, okay, well, yeah, the serve is good, the forehand is big. There are other things that you're kind of thinking about, not just the one shot, like that one pace of like, oh man, if you leave it hanging in any guy today, you better start getting on your heels. But Fritz, he does a good job at dictating, but I love his backhand. Like, there are other areas of his game that come to mind when I think of Fritz. But yeah, good point.
Yeah, like I feel like he goes thumper. Like, you'd have to, like, he's setting up and you're going, okay, I'm scooting.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting back.
Yeah.
Like, who are some? Do you have any other honorable mentions, or are we?
I mean, today's tennis is so many. I think Casper's forehand is very, very good, and we've seen Casper.
He actually took over RPMs from Rafa too.
Yeah.
For your Jim was talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's another one that, like, he's a great example of someone where you watch on TV and you're going, well, it doesn't look like it's that hard.
Man.
But, like, explain the difference.
I
and
played
you were talking
him at
about, like,
Indian Wells.
like, oh, that's not fun.
No,
like
not
the
at all.
behind the court camera, and why I will never stop talking about it. And you talked about it also. Casper might be the example of bird's eye view. You're going, it doesn't look like he's ripping it that hard, but then all of a sudden you get the court bottom view, and it's going, oh, that thing is hitting and jumping. Like, it's taking a leap forward, right?
Yeah. So I played Casper a few times. I played him early in his career in Stockton. Stockton Challenger, baby. And the courts were lightning fast, and he was young and coming up. And I remember he hit the same way, but the ball didn't have the same weight on it. So you're playing up on a really fast court. It's not getting out of my strike zone. I was able to get him there. Yeah. And I felt pretty good about it. I was like, oh, he's good, but probably it'll take some time.
Not gonna be 2 in the world, not gonna make 3 slam finals.
A few years later, I played him in Indian Wells. He had already been top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm thinking, I'll just rush the forehand, because 4 years ago in Stockton on a fast court, I was able to rush the forehand and got him to lift.
Great thinking.
No chance. The guy, once he got a hold of one, and I'm thinking, all right, he's going to try to play up to my backhand. Let me stay close to the baseline to get on top of it.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to get that high. Because what I remember, at 17 or whatever he was, it wasn't getting that high. Yeah. I think it was getting high.
Well, Indian Wells also has the most bounce. It's the most bounce of any court.
But I'm going into it thinking I'm tall and I can get on top of it.
Did you actually think this, or was this the story you were telling yourself?
Well, it's probably the story I was telling myself.
Okay.
Like, I was thinking, okay, I know what Casper's going to, he's going to try to dictate play. He's going to lift it up to my backhand. I'll get in and maybe use a short chip or get on top of it. And the moment you get in and you don't connect well, Casper's but it's a little bit like the center thing, where it's not 1. It's not 2.
It gains on you.
It's 3, 4, 5, until the point where you're leaving balls barely clear the net in the service line. You can't.
No, unless you take a dumb risk.
But the other thing he does similar to Rafa, his backhand isn't the typical very flat backhand today. It plays top spin.
Yeah.
So even when you find his backhand, he just goes, all right, throws it up. Now you're dealing with a different type of top spin, and you're like, well, how am I going to find his backhand, to be able to find a ball to attack?
Dude, he's got a lot of juice. His serve is juice. Like, he can.
It is. He's got that kind of quick motion too.
He's got a Jim Courier pocket, kind of quick. Like, Casper's nasty.
Yeah. So I think Casper
I should
have
have written him down. I'm disappointed in myself. But we hope you're not disappointed with us. This was fun.
Yeah, I like this.
This is cool. I
like this
type
of stuff.
Yeah, it's like we do a disservice in tennis if we're just like forehand good, backhand bad. Like, people can have great forehands in different spots. We have someone who likes hitting it from the left corner, who doesn't like running towards it, who likes it when they're back 6 feet behind the baseline, but doesn't like having to come in and hit one, likes one off of a topspin shot, but doesn't like it when you chip down to it. There are so many different ways. Pro tennis players don't just miss or hit bad shots because they're not good. It's because they're trying to adapt for pockets of skill, of power. The people we named probably have the most complete forehands of all time. Maybe not the biggest, maybe not the best at this one, but like, there are no weaknesses. Their pocket is so big in their variety and what they're able to do and handle. I think that's how I kind of ended up getting to the names on my list.
Agreed.
All right. Well, that was it. Just a little nerd session. It's like what Chris and I do, just this time we had a camera rolling. JW, what do you think?
Nerds. Love the deep dive. Nerds. Seriously. Listen to you guys. Do you hear yourself?
Nerds.
John Isner and Sam Query are going to throw you in front of lockers and hang you by a tree with your underwear. That was a joke. No, that was a great conversation. And, Chris is so... We forget how close he was, the this guy a few months ago was in the middle of a career, but beyond that, he's a real student of the game and a real student of history. Those were a lot, I think even whatever is a step above casual fan. All right, whatever. He hits a hard forehand, serving a forehand. This was the kind of granular analysis we needed.
I love conversations like that just because I feel like I get a little smarter. What do we have? We have people going to the Super Bowls. We got the Olympics. What do we have?
We made it through this whole episode. We didn't even mention the Super Bowl. We didn't mention Bad Bunny, which just happened this past weekend. Yeah. It was incredible. But I felt like even with the Olympics, we've just seen star power kind of everywhere. We saw Roger at the Super Bowl. We saw Novak at the Olympics, which we have a clip for that later.
Can I say one thing before we get into the tennis people at cool events? Charlie Puth crushed the national anthem.
Crushed
the national anthem. Like one of the best I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
The entertainment all around, I thought, was some of the best Super
Brandy
Bowls
Carlisle,
ever rolled
Green
out.
Day.
Green Day ripped.
Yeah. Ripped it. But
they were singing songs with feelings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah. Go.
And then, but then we had Serena, dancing all over Super Bowl again with the Roe commercial, looking fantastic.
Yeah.
We have multiple 40-plus-year-old women playing on tour right now. I don't know, John. What do you think? She looks pretty good for a comeback.
And I gotta say, I think this is great. And I think we learned our lesson from other athletes, from Lindsey Vonn to Novak to who, like, if Serena still thinks that she's got some juice that can be squeezed, go nuts. It would be one of the great tennis stories of 2026. It certainly is looking that way. I don't know. I've heard various things. This is more a mixed doubles or maybe return to Wimbledon, where she never quite, she did not like the savor of her last match there. But I think it's great. And I think I looked into this, by the way, just FYI, these GLP, these weight loss drugs right now are on a WADA monitor list, but they are legal. So that would not be an impediment. Kind of interesting. What enhances performance better than losing 20 pounds? But so that would not be an impediment to a comeback. I think it's great. I think she would be absolutely welcome back. And if this is about whatever it is, if this is writing more chapters, if this is about playing in front of your kids, this should not be a point of debate. This should be welcomed. I think it's just a question now of what form it takes.
Who wouldn't welcome this? I'm sorry. What are we, psychos?
The same people who thought Lindsey Vonn should stay off the mat. Give someone else a chance.
That definitely didn't bring any eyeballs to the Olympics. Get the fuck out of here.
There is sort of a strange reflexive need to tell athletes to stay retired. I never quite understood this.
I can tell you something that I think I know for a fact, right? I'm not Serena. I can't play anymore. I stink. And if I decided that I wanted to come back, guess what I would be doing immediately? Immediately. I'd be dropping 20 pounds as fast as I can. I would be taking those drugs because you know what becomes easier when you're 20 pounds lighter? Actually getting back to the training that you need without getting injured to get back on tour.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they're like, oh, it doesn't enhance performance. Yep, no. What it does is I think it shortens the timeline for training and mitigates a lot of the risk because the thing with getting back is like you get injured training, you can't get back, right? If you start training from a place of 25 pounds less, guess what's less likely to happen? Getting hurt. So it's not on the day. It's like if I was going to do it, I would absolutely do it and try to drop as much before I committed back to the training process.
We have another clip from the Olympics, by the way.
Easy transition, by the way.
A backflip landing on one skate, which used to be illegal. And Novak is in complete shock.
It's amazing what people can do, man.
How much do you love just seeing Novak react that way to other greatness?
It's just great. Like you know what's nice is like no matter what you've accomplished, you're not oblivious to just really cool accomplishment and things and work and discipline and process. And like, I'm sorry. You know what I always think when I watch stuff like that? It's like there was a first time that someone tried that. It's like, I'm gonna do a backflip and land on one skate. Like to do that it's not like tennis where it's like you play, but you're not doing like throwing yourself down a mountain and be like, today, I know someone's gonna say foam pit. Fuck foam pit. I'm gonna do 7 backflips and then land. This is the day. I'm sorry.
It's absurd.
Like athleticism, I'm sorry. It's just
Sports
great.
evolve.
And then didn't Sinner, like, wasn't he like checking bus tickets?
Yeah,
He's like volunteering.
Sinner was having people get onto gondolas. He was checking tickets.
This is a home game for him.
I wouldn't mind seeing him
exactly.
just rip it down the ski slopes.
Ah, man.
That'd be pretty cool.
Did you hear that a guy he beat in the juniors is like whatever the equivalent is, the #1 seed now for to win a gold medal, and it was a guy Sinner like 6 or 7 years ago was carving up. He's got like indirect wins over a gold medalist in a different sport.
I was like talking with Mac about this exact thing. Like they were talking about the Winter Olympics and we see skiers, and he was like, we were just bullshitting for like an hour before we played, and he was like, this Sinner thing with the skiing, it's like, what do you think? I'm like, I kind of used to think it was bullshit. I was like, oh, people crouch, you get in and out of the corners. And I was like, and now it's like 5 years later and I've seen what he's become. I'm like, you're gonna see like every tennis player just like throwing themselves down a mountain. Just it's like, I kind of buy it now, I think. I don't know.
It's funny too, because when skiing is one of these things, like a lot of players, Roger, for example, would never do it because they were worried, you jam your wrist and you have a skiing accident, it puts you out of tennis. But it sounds like, yeah, you look at how Jannik gets out of the corners and that leg strength, and someone knew what they were doing. But no, I heard a birdie told me, keep an eye on these Olympics and Jannik Sinner sightings. I think he's not done.
Oh,
we're going to see him.
Great. So he's going to do the closing ceremony. Okay. I'll tell you this, though. Speaking of people where it's like Sinner beat someone in a different sport and then went on to become like a tennis player, I got a text from Godsik on the way in from Roger's agent. And it was basically like Roger was at the Super Bowl, looked clean as all. I mean, just like, yeah, he's like the coolest dude ever. Anyway, so I guess he was talking to Drew Brees, and Brees was talking shit how he used to beat me in tennis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he did.
He did?
Yeah, he did.
Wait. As long as you brought it up, because that comes up from time to. And it was Chris Mim, who played in the NBA, and apparently,
I never lost to him.
Fact and fiction.
He sucked.
Fact
I
and
never
fiction.
lost to him. I lost to Breeze though. Yeah,
That's true story.
True story. I lost to him. True story. Here, we'll end the show after this. He's 3 years older, but like when I was 9, I was #1 in the city in 16 and unders. Like, and then Breeze, this guy comes in and he beat me twice, like ruined my universe. I'm like, no, this is my domain. So I finally beat Drew Brees in tennis. He's like, if I'm losing to this bum, I quit. I'm done. So you're welcome, football. You're welcome, New Orleans. Thanks for watching Served. AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents.